Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the first episode of Starseed Chats. There was some technical difficulty, so thank you for hanging in there. We got some really great questions for May coming in. So, May is my first guest, my first interview ever, and she does light language, and she's an intuitive healer. And I've just always been really fascinated by light language and different ways you can channel. So we're going to talk about how you can heal yourself and developing starseed gifts and all of that fun stuff. May, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Where should I start?
Like, how did this all kind of start? Well, so you're an intuitive healer. You do light language. If there's any other like type kind of focus you have right now, and then just a little bit kind of background on your starseed awakening, I guess.
Okay. So hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Around 2015, I moved from Israel to New Orleans, to the United States, just to figure out my journey as an artist. And I didn't know that that was going to be the beginning of my ascension process. Right before I came to New Orleans, I started seeing numbers everywhere, like repeated numbers for like a few years. And it was like, I didn't know anything about ascension. I didn't know anything about Kundalini Awakenings. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. But I started seeing numbers everywhere. And then when I got to New Orleans, I started meeting different people. And then I met one person that he was the person that mirrored all of my childhood wounds, and that caused a lot of lessons. And when we were together, there was a lot of work that was happening. I didn't even know that that was the beginning of my journey and what was exactly happening, but it was mirroring all of my core wounds. And then when it ended, my heart just blasted open. It cracked. It hurt. I went through a lot of pain. And then I went to meditation. And I didn't know much about meditation, but I was in so much pain that I just wanted to work
Anything
with that
to
pain.
fix it.
Yeah, just like God, just I had nowhere else to go but God. And after 3 weeks of doing meditation, in the beginning, I started with 3 minutes a day, and then I bumped it up to like 5 minutes a day. And by the time I got to 20 minutes a day, which was only 3 weeks in, I felt a sensation right like in my third eye, and then my head started moving in circular motions. And I didn't know anything about Kundalini. I thought I was possessed. I was living in New Orleans. I was like, am I possessed? Is there a ghost in me? What's going on? So I took my phone and I Googled head spinning and meditation and started finding. Yeah, I just didn't know what to say. Head spinning alone and meditation.
Exorcist.
And then I found all this information about Kundalini Awakenings. And then the next day, I went back to meditation. I was waiting for the sensation, and after a few minutes, it happened again. And then it started moving my body in different areas in my body. It started here, but then it was moving me from my chest, and it was always, I could feel it travel through my body in different locations and kind of introducing itself throughout my body. So yeah, I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening.
Wow.
And that was the evolution of all the gifts. The first 2 years was my purification process. I had a lot of purging. I learned that I can scan chakras through my own body. I could scan other people's chakras. I learned that I can tap into other people's bodies and energy fields and understand what's going on through them through my own body. I was doing a lot of homework and sitting a lot with the energy and learning about it. And then one day I went dancing, and I hyperextended my knee. And at the time I was doing shows. I was an artist and doing art shows all over the country, and I couldn't travel with pain in my knee. So I sat down in meditation and asked this energy to help me heal it. And my hands lifted up by their own. They just were totally like it was moving my body. My hands got up and they just went to my knee and started like working on my knee as if I had this wisdom through my hands, like knowing exactly what to do and how to heal my leg. And in the first, I was a little bit scared. I had a bunch of chills. It felt like there was an angel on me, like showing me this is something that you're going to be doing. This is something that you can do. But I was still a little bit scared because it was like very, feels like a ghost, It feels like something very parallel not from this dimension, not from this
Yeah.
reality. Very
Like
very,
Stranger Things, but
yeah,
in a good
Stranger
way.
Things. Yeah, I call it my Stranger Things moment. So that was my introduction to the healing through my hands. And then after that, after a couple of months, I sat down and asked to heal something else in my body. And then overtone singing, my voice just started to make all these sounds. And then
Wow.
after 8 months, I was in quarantine during the pandemic, and I was doing yoga. And the yoga is also channeled. Like, I would be guided to do all these asanas with these sounds and different mudras. And at the time, I wasn't doing mudras yet, but I got on my yoga mat one day, and then light language, all these words that sounded very Japanese started to come out, and just allowed it to flow. And that the dialect has always evolved and changed, always. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what it was teaching me. And with time, when I was offering my healing abilities to different people, it would be a combination of pressure points, massage, using my voice. And then when I was doing light language and overtone singing, suddenly I would have air push out of my body, and I would hiss it out. I would like burp it out, or I would clear the energy. And I'm like, oh, this language, it's like a coded language that has the ability to remove energy, stuck energy out of the body. And then also bring light into the body and bring balance and harmony and heal the body. And through the people that I was working in the beginning, all the people were giving me really good feedback. My mom couldn't move her finger. She had a stuck finger for 3 years. She couldn't move it. And I did 2 sessions on her, and then she had full mobility. And like little things like that from people that were close to me. So I kept on going with the feedback that I got.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's similar to what I've been going through just recently with so you said this was beginning to happen to you, and you didn't even know like what it was at first, and you just were kind of like testing it out, playing around with it, and then getting the feedback. Similar with me for the live meditations that I do on Sundays. People are having all of these physical sensations and profound experiences, and I didn't really know what was going on until just recently learning about telekinesis being activated, and something with the tones in my voice as well from my Lyran heritage. So it's just amazing the types of things that we are beginning to develop.
Can you share more about your telekinesis experience?
So this is just recent, very recent, that I learned what I was doing. Well, so I started doing these live meditations and also readings on people, and things started happening. Like, I remember I was on a call with somebody, and within the first 5 minutes, she's like, my hands are like vibrating. She's like, there's a surge of energy going through my hands, and I wasn't even doing anything yet. We just started talking. And through the live guided meditations that I do, people are having a lot of physical sensations. I'm not very sensitive to like the physical sensations. I'm getting better at being able to sense energy, but I sense it in a different way. I normally don't feel it physically. I'm more of like a visual person. I receive a lot of my information through visions and then just claircognizance, I guess. But yeah, all these physical things were starting to happen. And then I found out that these Andromedans that had been working with me, they were teaching me telekinesis, and I learned more about that. I have not tested it on more physical matter yet. I know there's something that you can do where you put a pin on some foil or something and move it around with your mind. I need to try that. But so yeah, just starting to have all these physical sensations from the meditations and it's like Reiki. I feel like it's like Reiki times 100 is what it's turning into. And this is just something that's very, very new. I was kind of automatically doing. And then as I went, I found out more information about it and got confirmation from these different star beings that have been working with me.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I was
so it's evolving.
experimenting with telekinesis the other day because I've been moving the pendulum. The pendulum moves really, if I just think what I want, it just does what I want. And it does it very powerfully. And the other day I was like, okay, I'm not going to swing it. I'm just going to hold it. And it was it had a flat crystal. So I was like, I'm just going to think about it, that it's going to move all the way around. And I was holding it, and it went so slow. But maybe after 5 minutes, it finally made the whole way. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
this is really neat. And I just did that a few weeks ago because I was like, if I can do this I can really feel my mind moving the pendulum. I feel it, and I know exactly what I just have to think it, and it does what I want. I don't have to say anything. So it's like, I wonder what else I can do. So I think telekinesis is maybe the next, yeah. It's cool that you talked about that.
Yeah, somebody else had brought it up earlier too. Somebody that I talked to this morning, trying it out whenever they were a child, actually, and their mom had walked in, and he was brought up in a very religious family, and she freaked out and called the priest on him.
Oh no, my child is gifted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So the telekinesis thing is starting to come up a lot more, and that's a great idea to test it with the pendulum. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's amazing. But so back to your gifts, the light language. Can you tell us, I guess, a little bit more about light language, and then so what is it doing exactly? And a couple of people had some questions about, so how did you come across your gift, which you already kind of explained that. And which light language are you using, and can you translate your light language into messages to humanity, or is it just usually kind of like a different language, or these different sounds and all that?
I cannot give it English words. I haven't.
It's beyond that.
Yeah, I don't. There are light language speakers that actually translate their own. I don't know how that works. That doesn't come through for me. For me, it's just very coded, and it's meant for the frequency of the body. It's not meant to understand. That's my take on it, is that
Right.
It is very, very coded in order to remove energy. It's not like, hey, how are you? Are you having a good day? Good, brother. It's not like that. It's more like very coded in order to remove, to clear, to purify. That's what it does. And then also to bring balance. What I can say is that it has energy signatures. Like in the beginning of my journey, there were different blueprints of energies. Some feminine and some masculine would come through while I was working on people. And I would notice that the masculine energy was there to like cut something out of someone's body, like to take out an energy or an entity, because I do also entity clearings. So it's like to remove anything that it doesn't belong. And then the feminine energy, there was a grandmother energy that came through that was very soothing, and I would always feel goosebumps when she would come through and give light. And there was also like a teenager energy. It's all in the voice that would come through. So I would speak the same dialect, but the energy tone would shift. So they have like different, kind of reminds me a little bit of Buddhism, like in India, where they have like one source of God, but many, many different gods, right?
Yeah.
To translate source energy, like Kali and all the different deities. So it's kind of like the same thing that I'm experiencing through light language, but like it's one source expressing itself in different forms. What other questions were there?
So translating, if you could translate which light language you use. So I thought that light language was like channeling higher dimensional. Well, I guess it is, but is it? Are there like specific like ETs or higher dimensional beings that you channel this with?
A few experiences of aliens. I don't know what they were, but some beings that were trying to talk English through my body.
Oh, wow.
With a British accent, and I didn't let it cut. It happened like 3 times, and it would take over all my face. It was so uncomfortable, and I didn't let it go through again because like it could be. I didn't even invite them. It would just happen. And
wow, so just spontaneously you started
it would just
like
come
feeling
through. I would sit in meditation and then it would just come through and it would take over me, and it felt like something was really pressing into my body, And
Wow.
I would ask it questions and I would get answers, but the answers that I got in retrospect weren't true. It was back then in the quarantine. I would ask about like food shortages and all stuff like that, and they would tell me the energy told me to get supply for 3 months. There's going to be shortages, and it didn't happen. So
That sounds a lot like the news.
yeah. So you just like I stopped like allowing that to come through, because I don't know if I can trust that. And I've learned through automatic writing, I've developed automatic writing skill. That's how I create my light language art. And through automatic writing, I also can scan somebody's body and write it in English to know what's going on, and ask questions through channeling to get, if I do tap into an entity, I ask, who are you? And either I would get the source or Ra. I've been channeling Ra, but if it's a dark force or an energy that isn't from the light, I would scribble all over the paper. It wouldn't tell me. It would just scribble, so I would know that it's not from here. So so I've learned different ways to be like, okay, learn to ask, who is this?
Yeah.
You know? And you can also, when you're doing automatic writing and you're channeling and you're asking questions, you'll start noticing if it sounds more egoic or more from love, if it's coming from a place of like the answers are a lot more generalized and open, or if they're narrow to target a certain way. And if they're more egoic, then you know that it's not coming from a high vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Discernment's very, very, very important. Kind of similar with, I had to work through that. A lot of my information comes in through visions. So if I ever received like a vision or felt the presence of a being, because in the beginning I was visited by a lot of different beings. Every time I closed my eyes, I would see a different being, a lot of ETs, and a lot of, I'm like the ET girl. I'm the UFO magnet.
Cool.
Yeah, that's how this started for me, was whenever COVID hit. It happened very quickly, like with you, which I just find so fascinating, because like it's just suddenly things just change, and you can develop these different abilities and gifts so quickly. But UFOs began like visiting me while I was out shooting astrophotography, so it's space photography, and then after that it was very physical at first, making contact with these or seeing them pop up. And then I was like, I feel like they're trying to tell me something, beginning to communicate with them, and then this whole spiritual journey. But so I would receive a lot of visions. In discernment, I had to focus some time on learning about that, because if you get to learn like the vibe of it, and then also asking, are you of the light? Or, if anything feels off about it, you're just like, no, I'd maybe receive a vision or something that made me feel kind of weird, and I just be like, not interested, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. Yeah.
I love it that we all have different gifts. It's nice to hear, like, my clairvoyance, like to see things isn't. In the beginning, I also had a lot of experience where I would get visited by spirits and I would see them. They freaked me out, but it wasn't like aliens. It was like
human
beings, people, or whatever. And they would come at night, and I would see them like as if they were right there, and then they would disappear, and I would scream. It was so hard for me because it wasn't gentle. It would wake me up. It would shake me and wake me up.
Oh my gosh.
And I would feel the first 2 years, I feel like I was being fooled around with so much. She's a newbie. And at night, I would feel like energies just like kind of go in my body and out of my body. It was such an interesting experience. I didn't have a lot of sleep for 2 years after my awakening. It was just like experimenting with so many different things. And at night, I felt, the veil is very thin. I would wake up every night at like 3 o'clock every night.
Yeah. That's been... And I've been waiting. Sometimes I'll just abruptly wake up, and I feel like something just woke me up, but I don't know exactly what. You
don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is. Something just woke me up.
I one time woke up. This was like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. It felt like a space gun was shooting energy into my third eye. If I was in complete sleep, lying down, I was like. It was like it was so intense, and I was like, what just happened? I don't know if that's like they give you energy. I don't know if you're star beings, your higher self whatever it is that you're working at, they're actually entering codes while you're sleeping. But it felt like I was being shot with a space gun into my third eye.
Wow.
Yeah, it was creepy and weird and cool and all at the same time.
Yeah, it's different, definitely. So what I've found recently is, yeah, we have like ET versions of us in Star Family that are like really close by. They showed me in a dream there's ships, tons of ships in the sky, but they were like all camouflaged.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they were showing me like it was like the street, the stop sign above the street, like 20 ships. And they were basically just saying there's a lot of us like all around. But in a very like benevolent way. These are Pleiadians, and I know they got my back, and they're helping, guide me and activate me. And I think they're just now starting to be a little bit more hands-on with us, like the Andromedans who stepped forward and they were teaching me and activating telekinesis within me, which I'm super excited to try out with physical things. But with the ghosts, so I'm curious about that. Do you still see spirits? Because that's one thing where I was like, I'm good. Do not show me any human spirits. I'm okay with aliens, but do not show me any ghosts.
Yeah, so after that happened, it happened also in a specific house. Ever since I moved away from that house, I've only been visited twice in the house that I currently live in. It kind of stopped. I never told it to stop, but I think I was resisting it. And just recently I've been having healing sessions, Theta Healing sessions with another teacher. And he's like, do you want to open it? We found that I have limiting beliefs about, like, I saw something that I wasn't supposed to see in a past life and I blocked it. For me, my gifts is like claircognitive knowing and clairsentient, where I can feel things. Everything is through feeling, and just like a knowing that comes through my hands and like writing and stuff like that. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I blocked it. I kind of want to open it, but if I open it, does that mean I see spirits again? Because I really don't want to see them. It's not comfortable. For me, it's not comfortable. Maybe other psychics don't mind it, but for me, it's a little bit much if they're waking me up the way they wake me up, very abruptly. But also angels visit me. I have seen like one time there was like an angel that kind of looked like Little Mermaid father. Remember the one with the ink? I don't know. Yeah,
the trident.
What?
The trident?
Yeah. So I had an angel that looked really just like him, like a big long beard, and visited me, and it felt so nice. That happened in this house that I currently live in. But yeah, after that experience, things kind of mellowed out, and I sometimes have beings work on my body at night using my own hands. They'll, if I have pain in my body in a certain way, they'll use my own hands and my own body, but it feels very separate than me, and work on me while I'm sleeping.
So are you actually like moving?
Yeah, I'm actually using my own body, but sometimes it feels like I'm being pulled, or like they are actually moving me and stretching me while I'm complete sleep, but I'm aware that it's happening, and in the morning I'll feel better. Yeah. I don't know if it's like the same consciousness that is working when I'm healing someone else, right? Because it does feel, I've never studied this. The knowing just comes through. So like, does the knowing whatever is working through me also waking me up? And it's like the Kundalini. I think it just does its thing. Kundalini, you want to call it aliens, you want to call it higher self. I don't know exactly how it works. And I've noticed that recently, I've been drinking a lot of water, so in the middle of the night I wake up to go to the bathroom.
Yes, same.
And when I wake up, I feel the serpent energy, like the Kundalini working. I wake up and I'm already moving. Like, it's so active at night.
Wow, so you're a mover.
Well, it feels like it's really active.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I wanted so whenever you're channeling, there's something actually coming into your body, and you're channeling it through your body physically. That's just so fascinating. With me, what I'm learning, and I'm still learning the extent of all of this and how this all works. But part of it is they are the star beings are connecting through my throat chakra. So it's not like they're not like coming into my body in that way. I don't know how exactly it works, but they're coming in through they're connecting with my throat chakra. So it's just so fascinating, all the different types of ways that that we can channel.
Totally. The
Yeah.
drawings that came through, the drawings that come out for me, and all the light language, and how repetitive it is between other light language artists that I see. I just sat with another artist for the first time, I sat with another Starseed artist that does light language art.
Oh,
And we're
wow.
sitting with two different iPads, and I could swear that his iPad was mine. If I open it, it looks like a lot of my work. And I was writing new letters, and he's like, "Oh, that's Arcturian." And I'm like, "Really? I didn't know I was channeling Arcturian letters." And he's like, "Yeah." And then he showed me another girl that was like, "Yeah, I'm channeling Arcturians." And he showed me exactly the same letters that I was channeling, just doodling,
wow.
but it was letters, and it was Arcturian letters. And this brings me back to your question: what language, what light language do I speak? I haven't asked again, but what I received when I started channeling light language is that it's ancient Lemuria, and that the seed that I'm from, like, I used to think that we reincarnate only on Earth, and then through channeling I've learned that my soul sparked in Sirius, and then reincarnated in the Pleiadians, and then reincarnated in ancient Lemuria, and then reincarnated on Earth. That's the information that I have now. And in the beginning, when I spoke light language, I was like, "So what am I speaking?" And they're like, "Ancient Lemuria." So I Googled YouTube's ancient Lemuria speaking. I couldn't find anybody that sounded like me. And so I was like, "What am I speaking?" And they're like, "They're ancient." They kept saying ancient, like the beginners. I guess Lemuria was there for a long time, and the dialects changed. That's what they were telling me.
Wow.
Yeah, but like right now, Arcturians come through, and so I guess
I
a lot
love
of
them.
this stuff. I guess I'm learning, whatever comes through. I don't know. It's just happening through me,
Yeah.
and I'm just allowing.
No, yeah. It's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of the time we're just getting kind of pieces of it, and it's just happening. Kind of bits and pieces at a time, and we're learning as we go. And with the Kundalini energy, or the Kundalini Awakening, I know you talked about it briefly in the beginning, but so what did that feel like, and what happened afterwards? Somebody was just asking. I had a spontaneous awakening too. I was out stargazing under a meteor shower, and I was with other people, and I just like closed my eyes. I started meditating for a minute, and then suddenly I don't usually feel like energy like that, but just whoosh, and then just a blast of these crazy visions. And I was like, holy shit, I think I'm having like, that was just a Kundalini awakening. And it was just really, really intense and trippy. But so what was yours like? And then what happened afterwards? Like, explosion of your gifts began to develop. Did you have any kind of like negative things that happened? There are some people that say, they're or have had negative experiences if it activates too quickly, is what I've heard, or a forced one.
It depends how you take it. Like, how do you receive that powerful energy? Because what happened, and the reason it's a very active energy, it feels like something separate from your body is alive in you all the time. It's always moving. It's always like, it's very alive. It's having like a genie in your body, and that you can access it anytime, and it has its own way of doing things, and it's very it moves. It's like having an alive energy in the body.
Wow.
So it's having a relationship with that energy all the time. And like I said, the first 2 years was the purification process. Just to remind everybody, I was going through a heartache, and that heartache was also all my childhood wounds. It was mirroring that relationship that I was in, was mirroring all of the core wounds that I needed to work on. And so those are the things, the mission, the purpose of Kundalini energy is to purify. That's all it wants to do. All it wants to do is to clear your body, clear the traumas, clear the blockages, so light can come in and you can do all these amazing things, right? That's the goal. And it's kind of like, oh, we're doing this now. We're doing this now. Now you have to purge this. Now you have to purge that. So intuitively working with this energy, like, I'll give an example. This was one of the most intense experiences that I had with this energy. Maybe first month in, I was sitting in meditation, and a lot of that relationship that ended had to do with like polyamorous relationship, and I wanted monogamy and all this like labels and stuff, and it ended really bad. I understood that this person had many sexual relationships, and I wanted to see if I can clear that sexual energy out of me. So I sat down with this energy and I asked to clear a certain specific person's energy out of my body. And what happened is my body started moving from my root in circular motions. I could feel the energy like sweeping up, the energy moving me from chakra to chakra, and then feeling a push of air out of my throat, and I would just let it go. And I was like, oh my God, I just did that. I cleared it. And so I was like, okay, if I can do that, I'm going to experiment. So I asked if I knew back then what I was asking for, I probably wouldn't have done it all at once. But I asked to clear all the sexual energy that didn't belong to me in this lifetime and all at my lifetimes. And my body did like this funk, and then it stopped. And then at midnight that night, I started throwing up. I started purging from midnight all the way to 7 o'clock in the morning. I was just like nonstop. I felt like there was like a tornado in my body. Voices were coming out, all kinds of energies, anger, betrayal, energy, all this stuff started to come up. That's like a lot to ask. And I thought that I was actually going to die. I didn't think that I was going to live. I didn't understand the intensity of this kind of work. I hear people that do plant medicine that have these kind of experiences, but this is pretty much just this energy that's working through. And that was scary for me. That was a lot, but I asked for it. So that's when
the universe gives you what you ask for.
Exactly. That's why our words are so powerful. We have to be very specific with what we're saying, very careful with what we're saying, and really learn to express what we want and our needs and everything in a very, very clear way. And that's something that I'm learning, and it's also deep programming, and you have to learn how to like clear the way we used to speak or the way we used to think and reprogram ourselves and teach ourselves what's right for us to do and think and express. But that was the most scariest experience as far as like worrying for my life. So I know that if I'm doing this kind of work, I ask for smaller doses or no healing crisis, or ask for allies like angels to come in. And also when I learned Theta Healing, and Theta Healing gave me tools to learn how to navigate this energy in a more healthier way. Like if before I was just had this energy and it was kind of like telling me what to do in its own way, suddenly I'm the boss, I am the creator, and I'm directing the energy in the way that has rules that are appropriate to bring whatever it is that you want to bring, whatever you want to manifest, whatever you want to heal, whatever you want to clear. So it just harmonized, it gave me tools to harmonize this energy within myself better and to help with other people better in a better way. Yeah. So for all of those out there, Theta Healing is really, really, really good.
Yeah, I was going to ask a little bit more about Theta Healing. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, first I grew up, my mom is a Theta healer, and she has been doing Theta for like 15 to 20 years. I don't know, she's been doing it for a long time. I grew up in a home where when I was younger, she's like, oh, just do Theta Healing on that. And it would piss me off. I didn't even know what she would talk about back then. And, and then one day, I guess she did a teacher training, and Vianna Stibble, which is the founder of Theta, asked in class who wants to give unconditional love to a loved one. And my mom was like, I want to give it to my daughter. At the time I was still living in Israel, and she was like, my daughter's confused. She doesn't know if she wants to live in the United States or in Israel, and I want to just give her that, unconditional love for clarity. And so she did that. And then the next day my mom offered me a session, which she's done so many times before, and I agreed to come to a session. And that session changed my life. It changed, we worked on abundance. And right after that, everything shifted for me financially. And so I knew there was something to it. I just never thought about learning it myself until, last year I had a friend that was like, oh my God, I just did a practice. And when I agreed and said yes to it, my whole body got goosebumps. I was like, okay, Creator Spirit really wants to learn this. And because I needed tools, I needed a teacher. And they teach in Theta Healing about entities and the different planes and the different dimensions, and how to work with our limiting beliefs, how to find our limiting beliefs. Our limiting beliefs they're living in our subconscious mind, and the subconscious is divided into 4 different levels, which is our core beliefs, soul level, which is our past lives, genetics, which has been given to us, you know, through our body and our DNA. And what am I missing in the history? Did I say history? History. Okay. And then the history level. And so when you find a limiting beliefs, the reason why it would serve a person, like a person, let's say, doesn't want to speak in public. So you would, through a series of questions, you would find how it serves them not to speak in public. And so when you find that root belief of why it serves them, you clear it. And then, you clear it from all the 4 levels. And then you download something that does serve them. And it shifts everything. It just, every time I've done work on someone or on myself, you're always going to get that reflection from the universe, how fast it works. Wow. It's incredible. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's
so
really
what
special.
do you mean download it? You download something else. What? I
got to download. Okay, so downloads, think about it as like programs. Think about our subconscious. So if this is our subconscious mind, 10% of our behaviors, only 10% come from the conscious, and 90% of our behaviors come from the subconscious, which is divided to the 4 levels, right? And downloads, so if our subconscious is like a hard drive, think about it as a hard drive in a computer. If you took something out, it's going to be empty. So when you want to download something, it's almost like a new program it'll serve your highest, something that we can work together to say, so what would you like to replace that with? Oh, I would like to replace it with speaking in public in a confident way, and I'll feel amazing every time. You'll start finding all the things that will serve you, and then, okay, let's do it. And so I tap into source. I tap in through light language. Every Theta healer probably has their own way. A lot of Theta healers are learned to work with their vision. I work with light language and kind of like my other abilities. And then I would just download it through a certain way in their psyche and their subconscious. It's kind of like a psychic surgery that happens, and you implant something new that serves them, reprogramming.
Wow, that's amazing.
You have to have a belief in source. You have to have, when you're coming to these sessions, you do have to be open. Yeah, because if you're not open, then it's not going to come through.
Yeah, it's crazy how really it can work like magic. Belief is so huge. You really do have to believe, or else, you're just going to block yourself. You're going to close yourself off from experiencing that. And if you begin testing the universe with that, like, asking certain things or just kind of experimenting with things, the universe will show you very quickly that, that this is real and that it works.
And the universe wants you to, like, creator, and the universe wants you to evolve, and it wants you to heal, and it wants you to grow. So it's almost like it's designed to show you. It's incredible. Like, they teach you how to do psychic divorces, like between energies. Like if you had boyfriends from the past and you want to do a psychic divorce, almost every psychic divorce I've done that were significant, then the person reached out to me the next day. They're like, hey, what's up? Because they feel the discord and the energy. And I'm like, okay, this shit works.
Wow.
Pardon my French. But yeah, that would happen every time. And it would show me, that's not the only thing. Like, so many things that I've worked on was like instant, like, just it'll show you through reflections, through other people, through things that happen, through offerings, through, just what happens to you in life.
Yeah. So is that like cord cutting, essentially? Cutting
psychic
cords?
Divorce? Yeah. It's like a psychic divorce is cutting cords in all those levels that I talked about. So it's like whatever attached you in all of the lifetimes. It's like deep work.
Okay, so it's deep.
It's deep. It's not just on the level of this lifetime. Like somebody could say, I just want to cut cords. But you're going into the depth of the connection, everything that you ever experienced, future lives, past lives, any parallel dimension, any universe, parallel universe, or any dimension that you are coexisting. It's going to do that work. It's so complex. It's like you're rearranging the Akash, really.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Definitely amazing. And there's something else that you said that really I struggled with for a while whenever the universe was beginning to show me these things and signs and synchronicities everywhere. I think I'm going crazy because it just, yeah. But is that the universe does love you. The universe does want you to succeed. And that was really hard. Also, having a hard time with opening your heart. That's like one of the biggest keys. The biggest key is the heart. And it can be
the key.
and a lot of time, it's closed off, or we've been hurt. We're not used to that pure love, I feel like. But yes, the universe, source, God, even like your star family, they want you to succeed, and they're here to help. I don't know. For me, that just took me a little bit to like, really, you want to help me like succeed? And I don't know. It's just such a pure, loving feeling. But yes, and that helps with, because we have a lot of trust issues, a lot of us, you know what I mean?
I know.
Where we just
Well, if you think about it, you have a team of ancestors. So the way this works, if your ancestor has karma that's unresolved, they can't resolve it when they're in that other dimension. They actually need you to clear it for them. So they're actually rooting for your healing, and they need that. So they'll do everything in their power to like, go to that direction. No, you're not doing it right. No, go there. Let me show you that it's this way. Because they really want you to do the work. Because it also, you're like, when you're doing your healing work, you're healing so much lineage behind you. And also on the physical, I've heard this once, and I'll take it as the reality, is that you heal 1 million people around you.
Wow.
One person equals 1 million people. It ripples out. Somebody sees someone doing their work, they're getting better. Oh my God, I want to do that too. There's like a Theta Healing wave where I live right now. Everybody wants to learn Theta because they can see things that somebody expanded, or they really helped, something did shift in their life. And so they really see that value. And so they want to do that as well. And we do need healers, and we do need people to heal themselves, because that's the only way we're going to actually see a shift in this lifetime. There are so many people that have so much trauma because, like...
A lot.
And I keep thinking about this, that we are a generation that has time to heal, that we can heal, that we have that time and the luxury to even go deep into our wounds and do this work, because most of our ancestors are in survival mode most of the time, just trying to live and survive. And so here we are in this existence. Yeah, things are kind of shaky right now in the world, but at the same time, it's giving us an opportunity to go inwards and really figure out, oh my God, why am I behaving this way? Why am I thinking this way? Why did I do that? Like, why do I keep attracting this into my life? And take a moment, take a inventory, and really see what's going on. And so we can bring a big change into our lives. And I don't know if we ever heal completely as long as we're in a physical body. I do know that our awareness becomes very sharp, and we can start to really know our wounds, know our triggers, take accountability, not project. We're like, oh my God, I'm feeling this. Okay, I'm going to go do work on this. I'm not going to emotionally poop on someone else, right? And then go inwards, do the work, and then go back out there and like, okay, I know now. If that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it does 100%. Before this, I am a nutritionist, and that's what I was practicing before this, and teaching health and nutrition, and that's what that was like my step one into awakening, was learning about the food, nutrition, and the food industry, and how corrupt that is, and then the hospital and all of that. But it really woke me up to finding the root cause. So if somebody keeps upsetting you, there's something underlying that. Or if, like you said, if you keep being triggered by something, there's something underlying that. So you do have to take inventory and looking at yourself, or healing yourself. Because I hear people, saying upset with other people for not being awake, or,
Which is
like,
the most spiritual bypass that I can think about. And I meet these people, and I'm like, I hear it. I hear the spiritual egotism before it, like, they start speaking, and I'm like, oh no. Like, he's still there's so much shadow in that. Yeah. There's still so much. I am more spiritual than that person. I am more awakened than that person. That person is not doing this and this. And there's just different levels. And like, the true essence is to love wherever another person is. You don't have to resonate, and you don't have to interact if it doesn't align, but you can respect and love, because we're all in different places. And there's younger souls and older souls in this world. We're all in different evolutions, also in our past lives evolution of our reincarnation.
And we're all one.
And we're all one.
So what you do to, somebody else is you're doing it to yourself. And just even like trying to convince other people. I mean, whenever I was starting to discover all of these things and trying to, about like the UFOs and the ETs and just everything, I was trying to tell people about it or trying to convince. I think that's where a lot of people also get in trouble, because they're trying to convince others, or they want to be inspired. Whenever I stopped trying to, tell people about it, and I just lived in my truth, I focused on myself, I did my healing, I started shining brighter, and now it's like everything shifted so much. And now, like, I'm not afraid to speak my truth. I tell people I talk to aliens, but and now like they're cool with it now. I don't know, but yeah, just focusing on yourself,
because you're
healing
cool with
yourself.
it, probably.
Yeah,
because you're
exactly.
you're grounded in it. You feel very peaceful with it. You believe in it. It's your truth. And so when you know what your truth is, other people will feel also comfortable with that. And I can say that about myself as well. Yeah, the more tapped in, the more in tune, the more you believe, and the more confident and peaceful you feel with your offering and what you're doing and your connection to source and what that looks like, the more people are going to be drawn to it. And I like what you said, that you can't change anyone. You can't. And actually, if you'll come to someone and say, hey, they're going to be like, bye. So
they're going to rebel. They're going to go the opposite.
Exactly. There's like this rebellious energy. And that actually happened to me during COVID with a friend that did, that got the jab. And I was, afraid of what it would do to this person. And I had a really long chat with him, and I made a mistake. I got attacked. And after that, I decided never to say to anyone my opinion. I'm going to live my truth. And that's been working out for me. And if you really want to make a difference, shine as bright as you can and do what you believe in and live your passions. And that's just you're going to be living your dharma. And so that's going to create this whole ripple effect of whatever that gift is supposed to help and evolve consciousness in general.
Right. Yeah. Shine your light and inspire others to do the same. And like you said, it's just going to create a massive ripple effect. I like how healing one person is actually healing a million people. Do you hear that, guys? There is hope. We're going down the right direction. If anybody has any questions for May, if you want to put them in the chat.
I actually can't see the chat box, so you're going to have to read them.
Can you? So if you go to the right, you should be able to hit comments. I did this the first time too.
Oh, hi everybody.
Yeah.
I did not see you here. Now I can see everyone. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you guys
Hi,
are
Gypsy
awesome.
Mama. Thank you for being here. Lovely.
Gypsy's the one who told me about you.
Oh, cool. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. Love her. Let me see if if anybody has any questions or anything. And I know people are wanting to hear some light language, or is that something that you can you like do that on the spot? I don't know.
I can definitely do that on the spot.
Okay.
I will say though that in the past 2 weeks I have really interesting sounds that I don't have control over. Whatever wants to come out, it will blurt out, and they're very weird for me, very extraterrestrial and very strange, and they get really high pitch. Yeah, I don't know if it'll come through. If it'll come through, great. If it does, I don't really have control. I say what wants to come through. Okay. So how much do you want me to share? Just give me a time on it.
Well, okay, yeah. Let's see what it is. Somebody's asking maybe just kind of feel for it for a second, and if it comes through, maybe we can do it in a minute, like to kind of like end things.
Ocean is here too. Hi, Ocean. Yay. I love you guys.
Yeah, I recently met somebody who was just learning about all of this and just beginning to channel. And I watched, we did a session. She's like, just to let you know, you're not going to understand a word that comes out of my mouth.
Who knew we will heal the world with gibberish? It's really funny. I don't know how we got here. I have no idea why it has to sound so funny, but but that's part of it. Yeah, when these sounds come out, these new sounds, when it was introduced to me, I was sitting in meditation, I'm doing my light language, and then these sounds come out, and I just start blasting in tears of laughter. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This cannot be a reality right now.
Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
so I get it. So yeah, I get it. I think everybody's super interested in it.
Okay. So I guess 5 minutes. Gypsy Mama says 5-minute sessions has been shown on JC show. It's so powerful. So we can do 5 minutes if you want to. And
It's up to you.
yeah, we can do
Or
5
1
minutes.
minute, or even 1 minute.
Oh, just 1 minute? I'll just do just a little introduction. We can do
Yeah,
that too.
whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Let's do 3.
Okay.
Okay, so time 3 minutes.
Mhm.
And just let me know when, just like give me a signal when my 3 minutes are done. And I'm not going to do any breath work. I'm just going to go straight into it.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Okay.
The clock had just said 5:55, just to let you know. So that's a good sign,
cool.
right?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so just be open to receive. And I would like to download unconditional love from the Creator for any resistance that you may feel if this is your first time listening. So just to download unconditional love to every cell in your body, to your organs, to your blood, to your aura. It is done. It is done. It is done. Torakiana na korashiata kurakiana na tayana murashiata tasayana iarakiana. Horakiata takumakiana sorashiata kiarakaya urakiana miera. Somayana korakiata sorakiana miera sha'i ar akor asiana. Hikiata korakiata takumakiana or ashiara. Rihiata takor asi a or ashiana naturashiana nasaya. Mihiara korashiana miiara saya or ashiana miera. Saya urashiana mihiara kayana horakiata. Horakiata somaurashiana korakiata takaya iare. Rika or aki or aki an asaya. Hi iarakaya horakiana. Hi or asiana. Shi or akiana kahayana surakiata. Hi a sorakiata mihiarakayana hora. Rishiana korakiana. Horakiata tasaya I or akiana. Hokaurakiata tasaya I Hor akiata kayana hura asiana miara sha'yar akaya ura. Rihiata korakiana murashiana. So or akian a mor asurashiana. Sorry, it's new for me.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's the new sounds, and it's really, I'm not used to it yet.
You did great, and you did great. So before they were,
It's going to take me some practice to get it without laughing. Get used to it.
Hey, we gotta laugh about these things, though. Whenever you changed to the second one, though, like I felt like I felt that.
I've been recording sessions in a recording studio to put it on my website, and I don't think the woman that agreed to take me into her studio knew what she was getting herself into. And I left her studio after like day 3, and she's like, the walls are vibrating. She's like, I can hear it in the walls.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was very interesting. You can feel like the different you're hitting tones I've never heard before.
You and me both. I can continue if you want. I just need to balance again. It's just funny to me that I'm live right now and it's coming out. I'm a little bit shy and feel like super weirdo right now.
No, you're fine. Everybody was like, yes, let's see it.
Okay.
And some people here have had your sessions, your light language sessions, and say that they're very powerful. So we all support you. We love you. We love the sounds. Those are codes, you guys.
It's more like spaceships coming out now.
It did sound very spacey.
Very spacey. And that wasn't even the high-pitched tone. It's actually quite hard on my sounds, but it reaches. What happens to me with these new sounds, it goes so high-pitched. And it's using like babies do. And it's using the voice. And I feel like when I get to those high-pitched sounds that it's opening something in my brain. I can't. Wow. It's just like my brain is doing. I'm like, all right, guys.
I felt that.
Yeah. I love
Laura
you too,
says,
Robin.
"Give me more."
Motorboat. This sounds like a motorboat. I agree. But an alien motorboat. It's not the motorboat that you learn in high school.
That definitely sounded extraterrestrial.
Did you hear the overtone sounds that comes from the throat when I'm doing it?
I think so.
There's like sounds that when I'm doing that, it took me a minute to realize it's actually creating this overtone in my throat while I'm doing that. That sounds very digital, spacey, like almost like spaceship, like you see in the movies.
Yeah. Wow. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're so welcome. You're welcome. Anytime.
So these are new sounds. You said that. So what were the old ones? Did it just kind of like switch randomly, or
it's always evolving,
how does that work?
The new ones are definitely just the that I can't even fake it if I'm not like in it. Yeah, when that was coming through and how high it wanted to go, I was like, holy moly.
Hold on. Put on your seatbelt.
Like, exactly. I'm like, okay, you want me to do this in public? Okay. Fine.
No, that's amazing. That is so amazing. What's really interesting, so I'm learning more about the gifts that I'm developing, like the telekinesis was part of it, and something that the Pleiadians called visual toning, where I'm making tones. A lot of it's I mix it with like my ability, my visions, my visual also, like thinking and envisioning things, even thinking or speaking, I create these tones that like the normal human can't. But I'm like, what am I going to start doing? Light language or something? I think I think it might be different, but I don't know. But I've heard, and that was from my Lyran heritage. These different tones can heal on a quantum level. And, so that's just amazing. After learning about that, I appreciate it. Just appreciate it so much. Frequency is so powerful. We're all vibration. We're all sound. Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Beautiful.
I just saw this show the other day, or I don't know, a few weeks ago about, it was like a vampire witches, like slaying demons kind of thing. And there was a point where they're in a room and this woman is possessed with a demon, but she's in a human body and nobody knows yet. And then this guy is like, and she's there to like open cards or something, like tarot cards. And then somebody's playing, the demon slayer is playing on the piano, like tones. And she's like, don't play that, it's bothering me. Like the demon inside speaking through her is like, don't play that, that's bothering me. And as he continues to play, she suddenly starts to, the demon comes out and like, it all hell lets loose, And that reminded me of the work that I do. Like they cannot live in these vibrations of these tones And they're showing it in, they're teaching us in these shows. And it was just like, oh my God, they're right. The chanting of Buddhists and all that's tailored and designed for lower vibrational energies and to clear our bodies. And I'm starting to really understand how everything works through everything is sound and frequency. That's where
crazy.
We're going.
Have you seen Stranger Things, the latest season?
I have.
So I got to do a video on that, but I was just like, so I cried during the episode. I don't want to say like spoilers, but Max gets in some trouble and how they get her out of it.
Music.
Yes, and and music. So frequency paired with love, because she was also visualizing the positive moments, and that's how. And it was like she was going through basically a psychic attack, and that's what it's like. I'm like, that's what it's like in real life, and how you get away from that is frequency and love. It was amazing.
And I also feel like the demon, that guy, what was his name? I forgot his name. That dude, the bad guy. He was also
Vecna?
doing remote. Yeah, what is his name again?
Vecna.
Or
right. One.
Vecna. So he was doing remote kind of meditation of remote viewing.
Yeah.
In order to actually psychic attack and do his work.
Yeah.
It's also such a good teacher, that show.
Yeah, it is. They're like in a trance. I'm like, that looks like me whenever I get into deep meditation. It was amazing. And I went back to season 1, and that's based off of real events. Like that show is basically based off of Starseeds who got psychically tested on. I can't remember the name of the exact program, but it was like based off of real events, which is just crazy. Yeah,
Stranger
crazy.
Things, the whole series, everything has taught. It's like such a good thing to watch when you're tapping into this world, because it can teach you so much about parallel universes, about channeling. There's a part there where I think the second season, there are only 3 seasons, right? I think it's like in the second season.
4, I think.
There are 4 seasons. So maybe in the second or the third, where one of the boys gets possessed with this dark entity energy, right? And he starts taking paper after paper after paper, drawing what he's possessing. And I had that happen to me when I was introduced to automatic writing. I only had like A4 paper here and markers, and I started drawing this kind of like the sketch of the 5th dimension and Earth dimension and what the cord, and it was spread out through all my kitchen. I can actually send it to you if you want to see.
Yeah.
I had a paper after paper after paper. It was spread out all through my floor kitchen, and I was like, what did I just do? And that's like when I saw that in Stranger Things, I'm like, God, I had a Stranger Thing moment. It's like something that I experienced. I was like paper after paper after paper, drawing so fast.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want, if we have time, I can send it to you. Maybe we can put it here somewhere. I did a little video about it. Yeah,
I would definitely, or at least send it to me. I'd love to see it. So with automatic writing, I thought that automatic writing was could it be like you get an inspirational thought, or does it have to be like something's actually like moving
Something's moving your hand.
Wow.
So the way I was introduced to this, I saw a show called Interviews with EDs by Ruben, forgot his last name. It's on Gaia TV, Interviews with EDs. It's awesome. Extra Dimensionals. And there was this woman, I believe her name was Vashta, and she channels aliens. If you don't know her, you're going to love her. She channels alien races, drawings of them.
Oh.
And when she shared them with humanity, people came up to her. I had dreams about this alien race. I was kidnapped by this alien race. She didn't know the effect that it would have when she would put it out there. And so that inspired me so much. I was like, I wonder what would happen if I took a pen and tapped into the Kundalini energy and asked it to show me, to ask it questions. And I actually had this experience before, months before, where I took the pen and I started scribbling, and my hand was scribbling for me, and I was scared. I was like, this is kind of like a horror movie, so I stopped. But it was actually trying to tune in to show me what I can do, and it happened again. When I took the paper, I started scribbling again. And then I started drawing dots, a line, dot, a line, dot. It was showing me a star map, and it was showing me A and B, like Sirius A and B, and showing me where I'm from.
Aw.
like a map, and it was all these different like symbols in the beginning, and then sacred geometry started to come through, and then charts of alien kind of like spaceships charts started to come through, and different frequency like designs, like symbols of free energy, and they would tell me in the end what it would be, and I would write it down. And then it evolved and evolved and evolved into like we're actually writing a language, star language, and different languages. And then I evolved also from just A4 and marker to painting on wood, and then to painting. And then I saw, wow, with painting, I can't really, I have to wait in between for things to get dry. So the channel isn't fluid. And then I discovered the iPad and how fast I can channel and how wonderful the drawings look like. And that's when I really found my niche, and I love digital art when it comes to this form of drawing and channeling. It just works the best for me. And and then I could really just like put them out there fast and choose. Yeah, it's been great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and automatic writing, you'll feel something is telling you, like your body is moving for you. Your hand is writing for you.
Interesting. Very interesting. I kind of want to like try it.
You should. I think we all have the skills, and we just have to practice.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, how long from whenever you started? You first discovered it and first started until like where you're at now. How much did you practice with the light language and with automatic writing, and the other all of your stuff?
What?
I said, and with all of the stuff that you're doing. How long do you think it took to really practice?
So 2017, I had my Kundalini Awakening. And then 2019, I was already doing overtone singing and healing through my hands. Like before that, I think in 2018, I started healing through my hands and overtone singing. And then 2020 came along and quarantine. And then in quarantine, I had a lot of time. I wasn't busy, rat race, making money, doing art shows. And I would say the beginning of quarantine is when light language came through. I started speaking it when I just one day sat on my yoga mat doing a practice, and it started to come through, and I was like, cool, I'm doing this now. And then I started watching during quarantine the EDs. That was maybe the same week, probably the same time. And yeah, just knowing that this energy is very alive and I can tap in and kind of teach myself. I was like, okay, can we do this now? Okay, can you show me this now? I would always explore it, like really explore what I can do. Yeah, and I think that the same year, 2020, is when I started doing the automatic writing and the light language. But before the light language and actual dialect, I was doing the overtone singing. That was happening for a year before that. So it was like, it was evolution showing me one thing at a time. Yeah.
Right. So basically in the past 2 years, that's amazing. Like literally same for me, and I feel like a lot of others. And I'm trying to see major ringing in my ears right now, Gypsy says.
from a motorboat. Gypsy Mama, you're so pretty. She's so pretty.
Amazing. So what would you give tips to, so you said anybody, you think probably everybody has the ability to do like automatic writing, possibly, maybe. They could try it. They could try it. But
I think if you're open with this,
or you can ask the universe to say, okay, show me what are my gifts. That's what I did.
I think that potentially for all of us, we have all different kinds of gifts, yes. And I think that we all are going to the same place. I do believe that the more blockages a person has, there's work to be done before getting there. It's not just going to happen like, oh, I haven't done any healing work, I haven't cleared my body, and I'm just going to do this and this. I don't think it works like that. I think there needs to be, but I might be wrong. I don't know. It doesn't come with a manual. This is my take on it, and I could be wrong. In order to actually receive these codes and gifts, there should be a purification process. That's what I've been shown with the Kundalini energy that cleared me first, right? So I can actually receive these gifts, receive the light, and harness it in a way where it's not damaging and not hurting me. Because the light is way faster than our physical body. So much faster. It's just like so fast. And our physical body needs to catch up. And it could be actually harmful for the body. If the light comes in, you're not clear. It can actually hurt you because the body needs to catch up.
Yeah,
So,
it can blow your
ascension
circuits too.
Yeah, and ascension, people that are going through ascension process, they know ringing in the ears, they know aches and pains in the body, they know they have different moods. Like resting is really important. Rest is sacred. You need to learn how to rest and allow yourself to rest because your body is always like upgrading. So potentially, yes, we all have that ability. If it's all going to happen in this lifetime, maybe not. If you're gonna dedicate your life to purifying your body and healing, maybe it's a very big possibility. If you're already a starseed that's already awakened and already working with psychic abilities, you probably can do it really fast. If you're already like awakened, I don't know. I know as a Kundalini active person that through the Kundalini energy, it can happen very fast. I don't, that's my experience. I can't speak about other kinds of awakenings, because I don't really know.
Right. And I would say if there's something that you intuitively feel guided or inspired to try, then try that, like different types of ways of channeling, and just kind of begin playing around with it. Like, for me, vision was like the big thing. So then I turned into like a freaking monk. And this was also after or in the midst of, I spent months purging and crying and healing and getting rid of all of this. Yeah, oh my God. I definitely could not have worked at the time. I could not have worked. I was just a meditating mess. But yeah, it was worth it. I don't know if everybody will have to go through it like that hard. Everybody's different. But
hopefully not. Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully all the children that are being birthed right now by light beings and conscious communities, and they're learning the new ways of living, and all these crystal children, I don't know what they call them today. I just feel like these are the lucky ones that are just going to be like, bah, all bright and shiny. I think we are the generation that is actually we have such a big mission here to really release that ancestral programming and limiting beliefs and clearing for our ancestors, and it's a lot of work. We signed up for it for a reason, though. A lot of powerful beings are here doing the sacred work. Yeah, and we've got a lot of helpers as well.
The newborns, they showed me a vision of newborns recently, and I was like, why'd you show me a vision of that? I'm like, that's not my kid, is it? I don't have any kids yet. No, just teasing. And that's what they were showing me. All of the babies being born now, all the kids being born now are just... It's a whole new.
They're going to teach us so much. They're
so
gonna teach
gifted.
Us so much. Yeah. They're going to teach
so
us
gifted.
So much. I'm so ready.
Me too. Well, I think, let me see. Do you have any tips for anybody with on Starseed Awakening, or anything else that you would kind of like to share or talk about?
Well, so yeah, I actually...
That was kind of broad, sorry.
Well, it kind of ties into the question of we open our psychic abilities, and can we do all of this work? So I decided to design this healing modality that I kind of created on my own, and I have it up on my website right now. It's called Health and Vitality, and using Theta Healing and light language, I remove all the lower vibrational emotions from the 78 organs. So and that's why it's 5-part. The first part is removing limiting beliefs. The second part is removing resentment, regret, rejection, and revenge out of the organs. And then the third part is removing guilt. No, sorry. The second one is anger, fear, and judgment. And then there's grief, guilt, and shame. And we're going into grief. So this work is so sacred because those are the lower vibrational energies that we want to clear in order for light to come in. So I was thinking okay, people were giving all this advice, but how do people actually do it? So I have an offering. It's also a sliding scale. If you want, you can go there. That would be one option. And if you don't go that route, that's okay. You can do breath work. Spirit Science released a video called... If you know Spirit Science, little cartoons, I love it.
That's what started to wake me up, I don't know, whenever they first started, I found them.
Yeah,
Like
so
10 years ago or like
they're
8 years ago.
amazing. So they made this video called "This is a Breath of Life." I was taught by a teacher in the beginning of my journey, and I always taught it to other people. And Spirit Science, I didn't know that Spirit Science knew about it, but it's called the Breath of Life, and they created a video. So that would be a good way to. It's a 20-minute practice that focuses on your heart. You breathe for the count of 7 from your heart through your nose, bringing the breath all the way up to your crown, holding it for 3, breathing out through your nose, back to your heart. And what happens, your heart is a muscle and it starts opening and opening and it removes blockages. I actually practiced this for 3 months straight. And after 3 months, I actually had a physical block pop. It hurt so much, but then like experienced a heart orgasm, they call it, where you have like goosebumps everywhere. And it really, if you do practice this every day, it will strengthen your aura, it will strengthen your energy body, and it will open all of your chakras. And there's other ways to do the healing work, you know. So that's something that I would recommend to begin with if you want to try something on your own. And yoga and dance and moving and anything that can move your body. I'm really into dance. Anything that can move your body and allow energy to move and clear. And when I say dance, I don't mean dance with your mind. I'm thinking about your moves. I mean like let go and allow your body to express itself in ways you've never imagined that you can.
Like light language.
Yeah.
Just let
and
it come
by
out.
the way, mudras and all the things that come through me through mudras, I've been dancing with the Kundalini energy. It's showing me a new way to dance. It's expressing it so through that. And I'm exploring new ways of moving my body as well with this energy.
That's amazing. I'm actually working on a heart meditation right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, something. So I'm gonna have to check out that Spirit Science one. The heart's so important. So that's good. You can move around. Just getting, I think, focusing your intention and also just asking the universe for, help me clear the things that need to be cleared out. Your body's intelligent. Your guides know. So just asking, setting the intention, and then more ideas will probably come up to you too. Like you may feel inspired to go take a jog or dance or do a little meditation each day.
Yes, I do recommend. Yes, there's a lot of truth to that. And I also think healing is difficult. It's not easy for a lot of people. And I do think that having guidance is important. And
support
and guidance. And, like I couldn't go through this alone. I did go through it I had helpers. I had people that helped me. I had that Kundalini energy. I had spirit. It's good to ask for help and see what comes your way. You might even ask Creator for guidance and somebody important will show up in your way. Like when the student is ready, the teacher will come, and be open to receive help. Be open to receive assistance, because some people don't even know how to receive assistance. And it's important on this path to feel that you're not alone, and there are people out there that can help you, and also have the tools to help yourself and do the work on your own. But I think hand in hand with other guidance is important.
Yeah, 100%. Support helps a lot. Definitely.
It's good to mention that I just opened a Deep Intuitive Healing Tribe Facebook page for people that are on the healing path and want to meet like-minded people that are on this path and maybe make some friends. And I put special posts there every day. So if you want, it's Deep Intuitive Healing Tribe on Facebook, and you can just find it, and I'll add you in there, and find your like-minded people.
Sounds awesome. That's a big thing too. The star beings have told me it just takes us coming together, and then things are going to happen very, very quickly. Just coming together as community. And there was another question that I had. I almost forgot to ask, but about the organs. I had a session with somebody the other day. There was something wrong with her throat, or she had like this weird pain in her throat. Could you talk about briefly like different emotions getting trapped in your organs? That might be kind of broad. Like, does fear usually get trapped in a certain spot, or anger in a certain spot, or is it like that, or is it just kind of like
anything that has been expressed? Anything in your life that you have ran away from or ignored or kept inside, haven't expressed, especially our throat. Like if you're young and you're a kid and you grow up in a household that you were shushed all the time, or weren't listened to all the time, or if you were speaking they wouldn't listen to you, or they would say things like, oh, that doesn't matter, my opinion matters, or anything like that. That can cause a lot of blockages in your throat. Or and same goes to any other chakra, sexual energy, all the different whatever our chakra represents. A lot of blockages can come in those ways where we weren't fully ourselves, and we didn't have permission to express ourselves fully. And then different relationships in our life, abusive relationships come in, and how did we actually did we have the tools to deal with our emotions? A lot of what happens is that we store a lot of those emotions and we don't do the healing work, and then that it's energy. Feelings are energy, fear is energy, judgment is energy, rejection is energy, and feelings and emotions are energy. So if we're not actually removing it, it gets stored in our body, in different organs, in our cells, and even our hair, like everything. It gets stored in our body, and it stays there, and then it causes diseases. And not only that, but those emotions, it's a story behind it. There's a reason you're feeling that story, right? If you feel rejected, that rejection is in your body, but it has a storyline attached to it. And then you're susceptible to actually entities attaching to those stories. Right? So when you're releasing those stories, you're releasing those limiting beliefs, you can also release entities. I just had a client where I scanned her before I met her. I didn't know anything was going on with her. And I scanned 2 entities in her throat. And in the session,
two entities in her throat?
2 entities in her throat.
Oh, my goodness.
And then she told me she had cancer in her throat. And I didn't know about the cancer, but I scanned entities attached to them. And then she told me that she was abused by her husband. Her husband used to be abusive, very abusive. And so she wasn't speaking her truth. She was numb here. So in the session, I guided her to express her anger. I guided her to let go. And guided her, we removed the entities together in the session. She got an MRI scan after a month, or I don't know exactly how much, and the cancer was gone.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that I'm starting to see like the effects of this work, I've been doing this I'm a newbie at it, but like I'm seeing how powerful.
The results are coming in quick.
The results are coming in, and the scans are accurate. Like the scan, it's every time it's showing me, because I didn't know she had cancer in the throat. I detected 2 entities in the throat that were attaching to the story lineage, to the story, not lineage, to the story that she was abused, to the story, to that lower vibration. Remove the entities, put forgiveness there, did this whole cord cutting release with this other person that was abusing her, brought light into it, and then healed it.
Wow. That is amazing. Amazing. So basically just had her express awareness was a big part of it too, becoming aware of it, and then expressing the emotions, replacing it with love. That is so amazing. See, I told you guys we're turning into superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. We can heal ourselves, and this is exactly what we are trying to be controlled not to do. I don't even think we know we have a blip of understanding of what we're capable of. Because the more I'm being shown, the more like, what am I capable of? Sometimes I'm scared of my own abilities because they're so powerful that like, okay, and I'm only 5 years in, right? I think it's 5 years. So what's going to happen in 10 years from now and 20 years from now? Because it's always shifting and evolving.
Right.
So
it's exciting, isn't it?
Very exciting.
Exciting and a little, yeah.
Okay, we're doing this now. All right, I'm going to be levitating. I'm going to have babies and they're going to be levitating out of my womb.
Teleporting.
Teleporting babies.
I think that's really coming, man. That's really coming.
I hope I get to see it in my lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we are so powerful, Gypsy says. Yes, we are. Savita's back. Avengers assemble. Let's go.
Somebody's asking here about ovaries, and I just want to say that the way I discovered, do I have more to share about this real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Ovaries. That I had a fallopian tube that was clogged, and I didn't go to a doctor. I channeled that. I had pain. I channeled that it was a tube that was clogged. I got different instructions from Spirit how to clear it. A lot of it had to do with apple cider vinegar and drinking a lot of that. Yeah, just simple things. And through that experience, I also was like, okay, so what emotion, why is this happening? What emotion is in there? And this is how I created my whole modality, by the way. It's through this experience of the health and vitality modality, is that I sat with the pendulum and I printed out all the 78 organs, and I asked my pendulum, each organ, is it healthy? I didn't say it's holding, I just asked if it's healthy. And then I had 4 organs that weren't healthy. And I was like, okay. So I remember that in Theta, they teach about if you can't heal through limiting beliefs, check if there's resentment, regret, or rejection. And so
resentment's a big one.
That's the first thing
huge.
that you need to start clearing when you start healing yourself, because resentment is disease. It literally causes disease in the body. Forgiveness is what clears that. So after I scanned with my pendulum each organ individually, if it has regret, rejection, or regret, rejection, or what am I missing? Help me. Resentment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or resentment. I removed it through my practice, and as I was releasing it, I could feel all these energies come up, all this like purge come up. I was feeling the energies come up, the emotions. I was sitting with it, allowing it to come through. It took a moment. It took a few hours. And then when I was done, I scanned again and I asked, is this organ healthy? And I got yes. Wow. Is this organ healthy? I got yes. And I was like, I think I just figured something out that's really important. And that's how Health and Vitality was born. I figured out the connection that we're holding all these lower vibrations in our emotions. And this work is sacred. It's so important. I've actually experienced purging symptoms from number 3 for myself. I got a dose of my own medicine. I had flu symptoms for like a week right after, while other people experienced the same thing. So I created a free healing crisis activation that's currently on my website for free. If anybody's experiencing any healing crisis, it doesn't have to be from my own activations. It can be from anything from life. They can go on my website and listen to it and get a taste of the work that I do for free. And then it's on my website, deepintuitivehealing.com. You can see the Health and Vitality series, and there's other activations there for a very, very affordable price. And it's a sliding scale that you can pay however it feels good for you. Yeah, and
that
this
sounds
is the
beautiful.
beginning. I think it's revolutionary work to work with these lower vibrational emotions that are attached to our organs.
Yeah, frequency that's it. So I had two people asking about. So Savita asked about if you would know anything about asthma, and Victor asked about have you seen anybody with diabetes? Do you have any experience with that yet?
So this is kind of like, I don't want to put labels. So as an energy healer, I see energy and emotions and things that haven't been figured out in our emotional body. So to call it diabetes or cancer, whatever, just like the woman that had cancer in her throat, I didn't receive cancer. I didn't get that download.
2 entities.
I got 2 entities. And the entities were attached to a storyline of a woman that wasn't able to express herself because she was abused. So I can't say that I have experience with diabetes.
Right.
I can work with you on what hasn't been processed. I can scan the body, see the imbalances, see if there's any entities attached, see the storyline, understand where you haven't been heard, where you haven't been seen, what trauma you have, working together with you and understanding how we can go deeper into that story or to your experience and go to the root of that and remove it and then bring in light, if that makes sense. So I think it's kind of like a modality that will work with anything, really. But not like the technical term that we have in modern help me out here, modern
health medicine,
or the
healthcare system.
The healthcare system. Yeah, it's a bit different. This is very energetic, and energy work is also not enough. You also have to eat right. You also have to move your body. If I'm gonna purify your body, but you're still drinking alcohol, I've had this experience where I removed an entity from a woman. And she's an alcoholic, and so she had an entity.
It came right back in.
So, like, if you're sleeping with someone that has it, if you're married to someone that also has entities, and then I cleared it, and you go to sleep with them again, you're going to have it again. It's not going to go away. There has to be a purification process that's going to go really deep in order to make a real shift in your life. So, yeah, energy work, limiting beliefs, eating right, moving your body. It's like complex. We're human bodies. There's a lot of maintenance that needs to be done.
Yeah.
because we're in a physical body. But we also have this luxury to be on Earth. Like, there's just so beautiful. The Earth is really beautiful, and we have so many gifts here. So it's worth the maintenance.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, even with like nutrition and health, it really is. It's like a wheel. There are so many different pieces to it.
Yeah, totally.
So make sure that you move. Make sure that you move. Pay attention to what you eat. And it's, it's a process too. You don't have to like, go on a crazy diet or anything.
And you know what the best medicine is?
Laughter?
Best medicine is laughter, laughing, and like having a hug from a good friend.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Just like the simplest things, like a hug can heal so much.
Yeah.
Like a hug or a good laugh. So it's important to also just feel good and just find things that make you feel joyful.
100%. That just like made me happy. Like,
Yay.
I felt it. And that's what, whenever I found out, these beings were my star family, they would just, the love that I felt was so healing. And I remember spending nights like walking back and forth on my porch at night, like going through like my limiting beliefs and things that I've had issues with, securities, and they would just be sending me love, and I'd replace the words with it. And I don't know, just that feeling of love is so healing. Hugs release oxytocin in your body as well.
Yeah. We love oxytocin.
Yeah, we do. It makes us feel good. Okay, well, thank you so much. I think we covered a lot of different topics. What you do is super fascinating, and you're very, very, very gifted. So, yeah, if you guys, anybody in the audience would like to check out her work, there are links in the description. If you would like to check out her courses or activations, links in the description as well. And I guess that's
a wrap.
I guess that's it. All right, bye guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys Sunday for this week's live activation, which we are doing integration this Sunday. So we're gonna mellow it out a little bit because we've been getting hit with a lot of energies lately. So thank you guys so much, and also if you would like to support the channel by getting Starseed merch or any of my digital backgrounds, there's a link to my website in the description as well. All right, bye guys. Take care.